Yep, you guys read the title right. We unfortunately wrecked the MT03. I'm not even sure where I want to start this video because there's a lot going on in this video. But I want to start off by apologizing for not having been uploading over the past month. For one, a lot has been going on, being that I literally wrecked the bike and now the bike doesn't work. So yeah, I'm sorry that I've been kind of inconsistent with posting, especially over the past month, but I promise there's a good reason for it. Also, let me know what you guys think of this camera footage because this is off my iPhone 16 that I just got today. So I'm just gonna tell you guys what happened from start to finish and how we are now here with not only an MT03 that is scratched up, but also technically isn't rideable. So we're gonna go back to about 2 weeks ago. I was just out riding, enjoying a nice night of riding. The weather was absolutely gorgeous, and I was having fun, just doing what I do. And I was riding out in a small city that's probably about like 40 minutes away from me that I like to ride around a lot. And as I'm riding around, I noticed that there's this guy on a Ninja 400 that is riding behind me. And so this guy's like riding with me, we're like in formation, and, I kind of, put it together that, he wanted to ride with me. And I thought that was super cool. Okay, that was like the coolest thing ever. So we end up pulling up to a red light and this guy comes up right beside me. I was like, dude, I love your bike, man. He had a black Ninja 400, very gorgeous bike. And he's telling me that he loved my bike. He's asking what bike it was. I told him it's an MT03. And and he asked if he could ride around with me. And I'm like, dude, of course, that's cool. Now we start riding around for a little bit and I'm like the happiest that I had been in weeks because a lot of you guys don't know this about me. I'm not trying to make this some super personal video, but I kind of struggle with meeting new people and, making friends. Most of my friends that I have are people that I've known for a very long time. I'm kind of antisocial. So, I was proud of myself. I had made a new friend and, I was glad that, we were out doing something that we both really enjoyed. So anyways, a short while after me and this dude started riding, we'd probably only been riding together for like 20 minutes. I decided that I wanted to stop and get ice cream. Your boy was craving some ice cream. And I decided it'd be, a good chance to, sit down and kind of talk to this dude a little bit because I literally just talked to him at that red light. And I figured he was going to follow me to get ice cream because, we were riding together. So we come down this like back road highway and there's like a Burger Hut / ice cream place on the side of it. And it's on the left-hand side. Now, one thing to note about this ice cream place is that the parking lot is all loose gravel, which I should have taken that into consideration. You guys know where this is going. And being that, I was riding with someone that I just met for the first time and I was kind of trying to make a good impression, make it not look so much like I was a complete noob, even though I am, I pulled into this Burger Hut parking lot and I pulled in way too fast. Now that wasn't the complete issue, okay? So I pulled in, even though I was going a little bit faster than I should have been, it was not a huge deal. The issue was I was gonna pull in right where I had just pulled into the parking lot, but I saw more spots on the other side of it. And unfortunately I made the mistake and I cut my wheel to the right and my bike went out from underneath me. Now, as soon as I did that, I went down, I hit the deck. I was super embarrassed because there's an outside seating area there and there were a bunch of people there, not to mention that I had this dude that I had just met riding with me. So I got a little banged up. My knee is still kind of healing. My arm was a little scratched up. But other than that and the bike being scratched up, everything was okay. The thing that got hurt most was my ego. And after this took place, I kind of need to sit down and have a reflection with myself, because I'm definitely getting way too confident on this thing. I have close to 3,000 miles on it, and don't get me wrong, like that is a lot of miles to put on a brand new bike for as long as I've had it. But just because I put a ton of miles on it at one time doesn't make me experienced or, doesn't mean I'm skilled enough to do the things that I've been doing. So it was kind of like a hard reset for me. After that, a bunch of people came over checking if I was okay. That dude that was riding with me, he ended up being a super cool guy. He'd been riding for years. He checked me over, made sure I was okay. And he helped me get my bike back up. And, it was an interesting situation. I popped right back up. I didn't even feel hurt at all whenever I first went down. It wasn't until I got home and took off like my jeans and stuff, which is another thing, guys. I was not wearing full gear. I was wearing my helmet, a pair of Converse, jeans, and a long sleeve shirt. So I wasn't even, had I been wearing all my gear, I would have had no scratches on me. But like I said, got overconfident, thought I didn't need all my gear to go riding on that night, and yeah. But anyways, like I said, that guy was super cool. He'd been riding, he was only a few years older than me, but he'd been riding for much longer. And so, I popped up, I was laughing, but, I was kind of laughing through the pain because I was definitely very embarrassed and, just very disappointed with myself. But, he kind of talked me down from that. Like I said, he was a super cool guy. He told me that, it happens. He would show me scratches on his Ninja 400 from the times that he had wrecked. And he told me, he's like, dude, everyone's going to drop their bike at some point. And by the way, guys, I guess it's not an actual wreck. I didn't actually wreck it. I just laid it out. But yeah, he told me that it happens to everyone at one time. It's better that you happen with it sooner rather than later. Also, it's better that it happens on your starter bike instead of like your, if you invest money and buy like a Panigale V4, a ZX-10R. So, it's better that it happens on your beginner bike. Now, I actually rode the rest of the night. I actually met up with a few other people that I knew back in high school, and they had bikes, so we ended up going riding for the rest of the night. And it was that fun. It was fun. I kind of forgot about everything that had happened until the next day when I woke up, and I just completely felt like shit again because I'd realized what I had done. However, I had rode for a whole nother week after that, with no issues with the bike. The bike's a little scratched up. It just needs new plastics, it's going to need this plastic piece, this plastic piece. This piece I'm not exactly too worried about because I can probably just sand that down and paint it and you wouldn't really notice the difference. And then the exhaust, which the exhaust was already scratched up because I had already dropped it one time. Not like that, but like I had accidentally lost grip of it and it fell over. But I plan on getting a Leo Vince exhaust for this anyway. So, not a huge deal. I was a little scratched up. The bike was a little scratched up, but everything was okay. It was just a learning experience. Now, fast forward about another week later, and this was probably about a few days ago. I decided that I wanted to get new clutch and brake levers for this bike. I thought the silver ones, the factory ones, just didn't look right. They didn't feel too good. So I bought these sweet-looking, adjustable MZS levers. And this brake one is very sweet. I wish I could ride it and, get a real feel of it because it feels really good. However, I go to put on the clutch lever and I almost tripped. I found an issue. So I took the clutch lever off. I went to put my new one on, which is right here. There's no slack here. I can't get that to pull out at all. And I didn't panic at first. I was like, okay, I just need to push a little slack out from my clutch engagement right here. And it will not go out at all. I don't know about you guys, but that is not normal. You should be able to push that out with fair ease. Yes, as of right now, I technically can't ride this bike. Unfortunately, I called up to the dealership today. I let them know they're supposed to give me a call back at some point to see where we should go from here. But yeah, as of right now, the MT03 is out of commission. So all of this happening in such a short time makes me feel really shitty, especially because I was just starting to gain my confidence back. I was trying not to get too much confidence, but I definitely was feeling less and less shitty about my little, mishap. And I definitely made sure to practice going into loose gravel parking lots throughout the following week. And, everything was good. I was like, okay, it was an accident. Nothing serious. I'm going to fix it and everything's going to be great, right? And now this is happening. So I'm kind of just set back now. And it really sucks because the weather is really nice now. Today was up in the 90s, which is the first day we've seen 90-degree weather in Pennsylvania this year. So it really sucks. I won't lie. I'm a little depressed about it. And I'm sorry that I haven't been giving videos to you guys. But it is what it is. Hopefully I can get things worked out with the dealership quickly. We can get the bike back in no time because I really want to be out riding. I haven't been riding in probably 5 days now, and it just feels terrible. But yeah, guys, so I just wanted to say sorry for not uploading, kind of give you guys an update on what's happening with the MT03. I will make more update videos and give you guys more information as we go. Hopefully this doesn't take very long. I really want to ride my bike. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And another thing I want to say is, if you're a beginner rider, if you're any rider and you drop your bike, don't feel bad about it, dude. Everyone drops their bike, and sometimes you kind of need something like that to kind of, reset and, not get too overconfident and make sure, you're riding safe. Now, I'm not saying that you guys should ride like absolute grandpas and never test your skills, never test your limits. But what I'm saying is that you just got to think and be careful. And sometimes, you kind of need a mental reset and a reminder that riding a motorcycle isn't just, muscle memory. Now, the whole, throttle, clutch, brake, shifting, all that definitely becomes muscle memory. However, you always have to pay attention and be prepared for things that could happen, and I was not. So if this happens to any of you guys, please share your experiences. Also, if any of you guys have any idea what's going on with that, I would love if you guys could let me know if you know anything about that. But yeah, guys, if you do drop your bike, don't feel bad about it. Don't get too down. It happens to everyone, okay? Don't let it completely ruin you. And most importantly, don't let it take away from the thing that you love most, which is riding your motorcycle. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Like I said, I'll give you more updates as we go. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their day. Make sure you ride safe, enjoy the beautiful weather, enjoy the scenery, enjoy these amazing machines that we have, and I will see you guys in the next one.
I've really read the nightmare you became. It comes in waves. You're everything I hate. You try to drag me down. I'll cut you